Yeah, Brian, I would like to thank you for coming on. We appreciate it a lot. One thing I want to ask you about is your favorite books, Yankee books that you've read over the years. Obviously, you just came out with 62. You have a few others, and tell me about some of your favorites that you've read.
Oh my gosh, Jack Curry has done some
Hmm.
great books.
Yep.
Off the top of my head, there's a great Lou Gehrig book that Jonathan Eig did that I love.
Mhm.
I read a lot of books about 1961 and doing the research for the 62 project. So there was a great biography of Roger Maris that I really enjoyed. There was the one that Tony Kubek did, talking about the 1961 season where I got so much great information from that one. But I would say that Jack Curry's book, Joel Sherman did a book,
Mhm.
Buster Olney on the last night of the Yankee Dynasty. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously I'm in Houston. I can't show you my bookshelf now, but it is packed with Yankee books. And
Wow.
I should give a plug here. Mark Feinsand, my
Yeah.
co-author on Mission 27, he has a great Yankee book that's out now about the franchise. So Marty Appel did a history called Pinstripe Empire. So just off the
Hmm.
top of my head, I think I just gave you like 10 books. I'm trying to like picture my bookshelf here as I'm talking to you, but I could definitely give you a reading list that'll keep you busy the whole off season. No doubt about that.
So, Brian, I'm currently a high school student going into my senior year starting on Tuesday. And I've known for a while I've wanted to be a sports journalist. I've wanted to be a reporter. So, I want to hear about your career path from the moment you knew that you wanted to do what you're doing now, all throughout up until today, and any advice you would have for me going forward to be in your position in like 10 years.
Wow. You got about 3 hours because there's been a lot of twists and turns, man. I mentioned earlier how I was a Mets fan circa 1996, right? And so that's the wild, wild west days of the internet. We're talking like AOL dial up. And there was a Yankees.com. There was no Mets.com at the time. And so I'm a high school freshman. And I said, hey, like if there's, I had a passion for writing. I always enjoyed writing. I obviously love baseball, and so they kind of came at an intersection. I was lucky to come up at a time where you didn't need to get hired by a newspaper to go write. You could just write from the computer in the family room. And so basically, what I did was I started. I guess today you'd call it a blog, but we didn't have that term then. It was a website about the Mets, and I would just kind of recap games and say what I was thinking, and then it kind of started to gain a following. And maybe you'd have 20 people read, then it became 100 people, then it became 1,000, then before I knew it, I had tens of thousands of people reading what I was writing about the team, and most people probably not realizing that I was a 14-year-old kid, still a high school freshman. And so cool. They continue to grow, and it became a kind of a message board community. And I was still doing my stories, and we'd have trade rumors up there, and I would write recaps about every game. And what it was good practice. I didn't know it at the time, but basically, I was practicing for the career that I would one day have. And I'm sure some of it was not good at all. I would guess that some of it was probably pretty bad, but that's the point of it, is that you get your feet wet, you write as much as you can, you read as much as you can. And so when I was 18, the Mets reached out. They had Mets.com by that point, and they said, hey, we've been reading your stuff for a long time here. You do a great job. Would you be interested in a summer internship? So I had to think about that for maybe 10 seconds. I was like, yeah. One week after I graduated from high school, I'm at Shea Stadium. I've got a press credential around my neck. It said club official. And I was able to basically be a summer intern, and any help they needed in the press box, even if it was just kind of, typing up stuff or making photocopies. I didn't care. Like I was there in the big leagues, and I got to see behind the scenes and see, how the real reporters were doing it. And once I got that foot in the door, I just never wanted to let it close. So as I went to college, I continued to write online for a couple years there, and baseball actually. It's funny considering who I now work for, but MLB shut down my website in 2002 for copyright. They didn't like that we were using the Mets logos and stuff like that. So I mean, people were still trying to figure out what the internet was at that point, I think. But so anyway, they sent me a cease and desist letter. I said, fine, if you don't want me to do this website, I'll go work for somebody else. And Fox Sports contacted me, and that kind of started a chain reaction where I was just writing for anybody who would have me at any point. And I was freelancing for a lot of different places, a lot of times for free, sometimes for 25, $50, like whatever it was. It didn't matter. It wasn't about the money. It was about the experience and getting to go to games and to interview actual big league players and just being there in the clubhouse. I being able to do that at Shea Stadium, and then it started going over to Yankee Stadium too, and helping out on as a backup for Mets.com, Yankees.com. So I think that started around 2003, and then a lot of it was just right place, right time. I freelanced for 3 years there, and then I happened to be filling in on the Mets during the winter meetings in 2006. Marty Noble, who covered the Mets then, he was ill. I think he was recovering from surgery. And so I happened to be there, and I heard Mark Feinsand told me, he's like, hey, I think I'm leaving Yankees.com. I'm going to go to the New York Daily News. And I said, really? Like, you're telling me the Yankees beat is going to be open for 2007? So I made sure that anybody who had any pull in that decision, I was like, hey, I know you think of me more as a Mets guy, but like, I would love to cover the Yankees. That would be a dream come true. And I had been up for a Baltimore Orioles job before that. I think I finished runner up. So I had tried to get hired full time by MLB.com the year before, but I said New York would be a dream. I don't have to move. Like, I can go to Yankee Stadium. I've already covered the Yankees. I know the team pretty well. Like, would you consider me for that? I'm 24 years old, by the way, at the time. And so, a couple of days after Christmas, they called me and said, would you like to be our Yankees beat writer for 2007? I said, yeah. I didn't even ask what it paid. I didn't care. Like, it didn't matter. I was saying yes. I mean, and so they said, great, January 1st, you start. You're the new Yankees.com beat reporter. And so when I took the job, I thought I would do it for 5 years and see where we're at. And now I've done it for 15? So, and I got no plans to go anywhere else. I love it. I'm lucky every day I get to go to work. Today I'm going to go and, talk to the and that's a dream job. This is where I want to be, and it really has been a dream come true. So my advice would be, write as much as you can, read as much as you can. Don't be the person who says yes to every opportunity, because you're not going to get handed your dream job right off the bat. You're going to have to take a lot of ones that maybe you're not that excited about, but they all lead you on the path to get where you want to be. And just be at it. Keep working on your craft. Talk to as many people as you can. Think of questions, ask questions, and you'll get where you want to go.
Thank you so much. And I hope in 10 years I'm in that press box with you.
I'll save you a seat. How about that?
Sounds good.
You got
it. Jeremy, you're definitely on the way. And one thing I got to ask, what are they feeding you in high school? Because I didn't have that much facial hair like you have in high school, right, buddy? Jesus,
I don't
go
know.
ahead, Julian.